head straight now, and we're going to speak to Behnam Ben Taleblu, who is a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, a non-partisan think tank in Washington, D.C., focusing on foreign policy. Thank you very much for coming on the programme.
Pleasure to be with you. Thank you for having me.
What's your reaction to what happened overnight?
In essence, this is a marked escalation by the Islamic Republic of Iran. As has been said and continues to be said, rightfully so, this is a historic first. The Islamic Republic has never launched ballistic missiles from its own territory publicly, overtly towards Israel. Another reason this is historic but seldom mentioned is that in all of the recent ballistic missile operations from Iranian territory, they have been against undefended targets, undefended American, alleged Israeli, Kurdish, ISIS targets in Pakistan, in Iraq, in Syria. This is the first time the Islamic Republic has gone up against a defended target, and one who has an exceptionally well-integrated, layered system of air and missile defenses like Israel. So it's like going from 0 to 100. And while some may think the strike was largely symbolic, I tend to see it as a test of the functionality of some of Iran's low-tier and higher-tier systems, as well as a test of how well Israel's defenses were working.
And just give us, I know you touched on it there, but your assessment of the calculation here, because as you mentioned, the expectation broadly was for probably a smaller response. What are the kind of calculations that they will have been making in Tehran?
Well, Iran was in a bit of a fork of a road here, we could say. They have one doctrine where they say deterrence can be established by responding in kind. So if this was allegedly a diplomatic facility, the regime would strike a diplomatic facility. You've seen them, for example, in the face of oil sanctions, begin to impede oil shipping, things of that nature. But since 2017, 2018, you've had Iranian officials, including the Supreme Leader, talk about trying to find a way to establish overwhelming force. I think one line from the Supreme Leader was, if you hit one, you'll receive 10. We had never really seen that in play up until right now. The desire by Iran to use both high and fast and low and slow flying aerial threats like ballistic missiles and drones respectively, and fire them again overtly and from Iranian territory, meant that they were A, confident in the capabilities of these systems, and B, eerily confident that they could outlive any kinetic reprisal that may come. And here's really the X factor here. I think politics is what they were hoping for. As much as the threats over the past week and a half may have pushed America and Israel closer together than at any other time in the past 6 months of the Gaza war, I think the Islamic Republic is hoping that America has a restraining kind of effect on Israel and prevents it from responding against the Islamic Republic. So even an unsuccessful strike in a military sense could be successful politically.
What do you think, and do you think that is what's going to happen? So that's the calculation. Do you think the US will provide a break on Israel here?
Well, even before October 7 and after, as much as the Israelis or others were looking for deterrence, I think the two other Ds in the Biden administration's vocabulary were largely deconfliction and de-escalation. And the desire for deconfliction and de-escalation grew in intensity as we came into 2024 and as the election gets closer and closer in November. I think that's something the Islamic Republic was counting on, but that's something the Biden administration tipped its hand on as well. You have the official press release by the White House. You have Axios and Reuters reporting, citing commentary allegedly attributed to President Biden, seeking to do exactly that, to kind of put a lid on it, rather than have this turn out into a regional war. So what is being reported thus far is consistent with the past, and is also consistent with Iran's threats, by the way, that if America does intervene, they would seek to target the U.S. and to play up this fear to stop the cycle of escalation.
Okay. Behnam Ben Taleblu, thank you very much for coming on the programme. Thank you.